Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Office Adda 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar, and I am with you with the area of AFM, that is Accounting and Financial Management for Bankers. So, we are preparing for May 2024 attempt. So, everyone, I hope I'm audible and clearly visible. Let's begin with our session today. Now, today I'm going to talk about the next unit, that is maintenance of cash, subsidy books, and ledger. So we'll be talking about all of these. The first thing that happens in any business is journal. Okay, let's talk about the journal first. What do you mean by journal? Journal is basically through which the entire recording is done. Okay, recording of each and every transaction. The recording of the transactions is done through journal. Okay, first is journalizing. Once you have journalized it, then the first part is over. After journal, the next point that comes is that after journal, we prepare the tabular form of it. That means under tabular form, what are we doing? We are creating a specific table. Under that particular table, we'll be putting everything in a simplified manner, because the managers need to understand the things in the most recent way. They just don't want to take a lot of time. The particular information should be updated, and at the same time, it should be completely summarized. So what do we do in this case? Let's look forward to it. Achha, I think explanation can be done further here. So first of all is journal. The second part is ledger. Under ledger, what you do is you're creating the tabular form. Achha, sometimes now having a rough notebook, then putting it into the fair. They said this is taking a lot of time. They said what to do? They said keep different notebooks now. Different notebooks for, we had different notebooks for English, Hindi, maths, then socials, or for all the subjects that we had in school, we had separate notebooks. They said, why don't you create different notebooks instead of classifying them later? So when they said create different notebooks, that means you have different notebook for the cash purchase. All the cash transactions are taken to the cash book. All the cash transactions belong to the cash book. Then whatever transactions that we are doing in terms of the business there, then which are related to cash is already gone. Then what are we left with? Purchase and sales. So purchases which are basically on credit would be included in this case. Then the next part is this is called purchase book, everyone. Then the next book is sales book, which is recording everything which is again on credit. That means sales return, then purchase return, then bill receivable, bill payable. In this way, all these things are recorded under this area. That means maintenance of cash and subsidy books and ledger. They are all taken in this area. Okay? So this is what we cover in this entire area. How do we look forward to it? The first point in this area to be covered is the MCQs of the particular topic. Instead of having entire tabular form, instead of having journal recording, that means individual transaction being recorded. Now, many things are just recorded in the books. Here, now both of these things are not that troublesome anymore. Earlier, all these things were required at a different level, but now, due to the softwares, the accounting softwares are so good that as soon as you put a journal entry, it goes directly into your balance sheet. The impact of the same, you don't have to think of it. But if you have got the perfect accounting softwares, then it will automatically have that particular thing. So in this case, you will not have to be bothered about the fact you have put something in journal, then I have to put something in ledger, I have to transfer it to the balance sheet. It goes directly into the balance sheet there based upon the ledger even. You can see the ledger, you can see the balance sheet, you can see the impact of each and every journal entry. That's the power of the accounting softwares which are working today. Okay, basically working about all these things, what is given in our book? In our book, they have talked about journal, ledger, and trial balance and balance sheet, P&L. They have talked about all of these, how accounting begins and how the entire financial statements are finalized. So here comes the first question, everyone. What does the balancing of an account mean? What does the balancing of an account mean? Equalizing debit and credit entries. then closing the account, then is transferring entries to the ledger, and then creating a trial balance. The balancing of the account basically means that ultimately the debit side should be equal to the credit side. And if we want that the debit should be equal to credit, so in this case, what are we going to do? This is the particular tabular form. This side should be the debit side. This side should be the credit side. If your debit side is more, then a balancing figure would be added on the credit side if your debit side is more. Vice versa, if your credit side is more, then a balancing figure would be there on the debit side. Because in accountancy, there is no point you can say that it's okay now, the debit is not equal to credit, it's absolutely fine. They say no, this doesn't happen. In accountancy, there's a rule. There is no exception to the debit and credit rule. Debit is equal to credit in all the situations there. Okay? So in this case, if it is not matching, that means there is some window dressing, there is some error, there is some fraud, whatever it may be. It is a negative situation there. So what do they do? What does the balancing of account mean? The balancing of account, you can see that is equalizing the debit and the credit entries. You are not doing anything else, but you are just equalizing this specific area. Okay? Then the answer is equalizing the debit and the credit entries. Then comes, what is the purpose of the ledger folio, everyone? Column in the journal. Record the date of the journal, then provide a narrative, a description of the transaction, then indicate the ledger page number or calculate the total of the transaction. What is the purpose of LF? Okay, ledger folio, when we are making journal. From journal, we move to ledger. From ledger, we move to trial balance. This is the particular idea. When we talk about this entire area, what happens in this area? First of all, when we are making a journal, from journal, we have to give the reference that if there was a particular point, for example, I received cash from someone. So that cash is being received. So the cash that I have received, this cash is basically received multiple times from multiple people. So what will I do? Whatever cash I receive, this would have a specific account. And this account means a specific table in ledger would be given to cash. And the table number should be known to me, right? So you give a specific account number to it, and that is called the ledger folio. So what is the purpose of the ledger folio in the journal column there? It is to record the transaction of the record the transaction. It is not to date. Then to provide a narrative description. The narrative description is actually called narration. It is not called ledger folio. It is actually called narration. Then indicate the ledger page number and then calculate the total. The answer is to indicate the ledger page number where the entry is posted. Next question, goods purchased on cash are recorded in the purchase journal, in the sales journal, in the cash book, or purchase return, that is journal. In which place you will record the goods which are purchased in cash. That means the purchase in cash is a cash transaction. A cash transaction means you are getting a particular thing and you have cash incoming and outgoing. So when you have this kind of situation, it is called cash book. Okay? It is called cash book. Next point, the sequence of the following activities in the process of accounting. First is journalizing the transactions. Second is recording the business transactions. Third is preparation of annual financial statements. Then we have preparation of the trial balance. Then we have deriving meaningful inferences, right? And choose the correct answer from the options given below. A, B, C, D, E, then A, B, C, D, E, C, A, B, D, E, C, then D, C, E, B, A, and then we have B, A, D, C, E. When we talk about this, what is the sequence of the following activities? When we talk about the sequence of the following activities, it would start with what? Whenever we are starting, first of all, we have to record the business transactions. We have to identify first, and then you have to record. This should be the first one. Then you have to put it in the journal. Technically, none of them has B point as first, so the answer is D. B, A. Then D is preparation of the trial balance. First of all, you record in journal, then you prepare the trial balance. They haven't given the area of, they have given the ledger. This is journal, this is ledger. Then after ledger, you have the area of ledger done. Then you have the area of annual financial statements. You prepare your balance sheets, and then after the preparation of your balance sheet, what will you do? You will derive the meaningful inferences. Ki, acha, theek hai, if we have made any profit, if we have made any losses, what is happening in those losses and the profits there? What is it that we are doing? Okay? So we'll be talking about those losses as well as profits. That is what is covered in this area. So the answer is B, A, D, C, E. Then comes the next question. The basic accounting cycle goes like this only. If I talk about the accounting cycle altogether, how does it look like? First of all, we have planning. We are talking about it now. First of all, we have identification. Identification means identify whether it belongs to the business or not. Identification. Then the second is measurement. We will measure. Okay, acha, theek hai, what is the amount? Then we will record. We know about the basics of it. It belongs to the business. Record. Then we classify. We classify it into different areas wherever it belongs to the books. Then we summarize. Summarize means we are clubbing it together in the form of a proper summary so that we can tell people about it. Summarize. Then analyze. That means find out what are the inferences that you get out of it. Then you have to interpret. And then last point, after the interpretation, what you get is SAI, and then you have to communicate it to the people. Now, this is what we talk about in the era of accounting cycle. So, when we're talking about this is what we call the accounting cycle, everyone. Then, what is the purpose of the folio column in the ledger? If we talk about the folio column in the ledger, that is in terms of ledger, they also have a folio. When you talk about journal, it refers to the ledger, and when it has in there in the ledger, what is it related to? See, everything goes from a journal towards a ledger. So when journal is talking, ki, acha, this was the point, that it goes to the ledger. So the point which is there in the ledger, it will talk about, this will belong to that particular journal. So it records the date of transaction? No. It is narrative description? No. Then indicates the page number of the particular area of where the entry is posted. This is it into the area of where, oh, it got mixed. The answer is C. The answer is C. Okay. Next question, everyone. What are the two broad classes in which the accounts are classified? The accounts are classified on the following basis. First is natural and artificial. Second is personal and impersonal. Then we have tangible and intangible, real and nominal. When we're talking about the broad classes in which the accounts are classified, the accounts are classified in the area of personal and impersonal. Okay. When we talk about these two, accounts can be classified in the area of personal, and second is impersonal. In the area of impersonal, what do we have? Impersonal, we have real and nominal. Personal means where the names of the persons are involved. Real means where we talk about tangibles and intangibles. The assets which we can touch and the assets which cannot be touched. They are covered under real. And all the nominal. Nominal takes up all the expenses of the organization. That means whatever expenses and incomes the organization is making. In the area of real, we have all the intangibles, intangible assets and tangible assets. Okay? When we talk about nominal, we have expenses and we have incomes. Done, everyone? So this is how we broadly classify it into this area. That means personal and impersonal. And in the impersonal, we have this area. In terms of personal, we have three types: natural, artificial. First is natural, second is artificial, and the third one would be natural, artificial, and the last one is representative personal. Okay, so these are all the one. So when we talk about the answer, it is personal and impersonal accounts. Done, everyone? Let's talk about the next question. What is an example of artificial personal account? When we talk about the artificial personal account, it includes the area of a person there. A person means we're talking about artificial person can be said regarding a person which is not real. Individuals are real. I am a real person. You are a real person. Then what is artificial? In terms of artificial, what do we have? Artificial are companies, banking company, insurance company, limited company, partnerships, as well as LLP, limited liability partnerships. All these are basically persons only, but in the eyes of law. They do not exist in reality. So proprietor's account, he's actually an individual. Supplier, he's also an individual. A limited company is not an individual. It doesn't breathe like you and me. You don't see Reliance roaming around in the market. You would see a person roaming around in the market. So that's an individual. So in this case, the correct answer is limited company account. Okay, so the correct answer is C. The answer is limited company account. Done, everyone? Next point. The representative personal accounts are used when individuals are involved in transactions, when many parties of the same nature are represented in by a single account, artificial entries are engaged, and then accounts represent tangible items. When we talk about representative personal accounts means they are not talking about proper individuals. We are going to talk about outstanding expenses. I have to pay to someone. Then I have accrued incomes, the income that I have to receive. So outstanding expenses, accrued incomes, they are all a part of this area. Okay? So the amount which we are then prepaid expenses are also part of it. And advances. These are all to be covered in this area. So when we talk about the entire area of representative personal account, it is related to the area of the amount which we have to give to someone, the amount which we have to receive from a person, the amounts which are related to this particular area of giving and receiving from someone. We are going to consider this amount as representative personal account. So this is basically many parties of the same nature are represented in a single account. So there are multiple parties. For example, if I have to give money to someone, then that particular person would be related to the area of outstanding expenses. So outstanding expenses is denoted as the account there, which means all the expenses which I have due to someone, I have to pay to someone, that would be considered in this area. Then what do the intangible real accounts represent? When we talk about the intangible real account, items that can be seen or touched, items that are tangible but cannot be measured, items that cannot be touched but can be measured in terms of money, artificial entities involved in the business transactions. Intangible real accounts relate to the area of all the assets which cannot be touched, and they are covered under real account only. So intangible assets means all the assets through which you earn money. For example, your goodwill, for example, your patent, for example, your copyright, for example, your trademarks. All these are covered under this. You cannot touch goodwill, but it exists, and that becomes the reason that you're making good money. So in this case, what would be the answer? The items which cannot be touched and can be measured in terms of money. वैसे ना in terms of the book itself ना, there is a particular portion where they talked about intangible assets, and then they said it is non-monetary intangible which cannot be touched. Non or intangible. Intangible is the word. So this part has to be taken up. Items that cannot be touched but can be measured in terms of money. Okay? Then what type of account is rent outstanding? We just talked about it. Then tangible real account, natural personal, representative personal, or intangible real account. Then we talk about rent outstanding. The amount the company is yet to pay. If it is yet to pay, then it is going to be representative personal account. Okay? The answer is representative personal account. Done? That is representative personal account. Next question. In the classification of accounts, what category does cash belong to? Real, tangible account, then natural personal, or artificial personal account? Cash. Cash is actually an asset through which we earn more, isn't it? So in this case, in the classification of account, what category does cash belong to? Cash belong to the area of real account, everyone. This is a tangible asset, right? An asset which can be touched by us. Then comes, what does the term debit means in accounting? In accounting, it has been taken into the area of accounting from a particular person called Luca Bartolomeo de Piccioli. This particular person had given the area. He said that there are two words which would be whatever money I put into the business, that's the only money that can be used for the business. If I put 100, then I can use 100. If I put 50, I can use 50. If I put 20, I can use 20. There is no other point. So in this case, the area is debit is equal to credit. This is the particular area which he has talked about. In area of debit, it is actually the left hand side and this is the right hand side. So this is just the concept of LHS equal to the concept of RHS. Okay? Receiving money, giving money, recording on the left side or recording on the right side. It is basically the area of recording on the left side. Whatever money we are bringing in the business, debit what comes in, whatever goes out of the business, credit what goes out. This is the account for real. In terms of real account, the rule of debit and credit is debit what comes in and credit what goes out. This is to be considered there. Okay? Then what can be the rules of debit and credit be summarized in terms of nominal accounts? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Debit all the expenses and losses, credit all the incomes and gains, and credit the receiver, debit the giver. When we talk about nominal, nominal says it is related to the expenses and incomes. So it is related to the area of debit all the expenses and losses and credit all the incomes and gains. Matlab, if I talk about the crux, debit side is for expenses and losses and credit side is for incomes and gains. ठीक है? Done everyone? चलिए. Then what is the answer in this case? The answer is debit all the expenses and losses and credit all the incomes and gains. Okay everyone. So let's end our session here only. We'll be meeting in the next session. But before I end my session there, let me know where to go to look forward towards our sessions. Okay. You have to download our app. That's one of the best ways. But if you want to review us in terms of, if you want to check out where to go, what to buy in terms of the JIB there, what you can do is you can check out our website. That is www.adda247.com. Go on to this area. Go on to the area of JIB and CIB. Okay. As soon as you go on to the area of JIB, CIB, this is JIB, CIB, Mahapack. Under the JIB, CIB, Mahapack, you have JIB, CIB, Mahapack 2.0. You have got CIB, Mahapack 2.0. JIB Mahapack 2.0 and JIB plus bank promotion. Someone who's preparing for JIB and bank promotion, you can opt for this. Someone who's planning for JIB plus CIB, then what you can do is you can purchase this pack. Double validity is going on. That means perfect time to buy it. You just have to look forward to it that JIB CIB Mahapack 2.0 includes what? This particular Mahapack includes bilingual English medium, both the classes. It also includes the area of bilingual English medium, recorded plus the live classes. Present and upcoming batches both are included. Along with this, in terms of this area, you will also get 1100 hours of live classes, 556 test series, 580 ebooks, as well as 1808 videos which are already recorded. So all these things are available. You can watch the recordings as many times as possible. There is no limit to it. And in this area, you will also get our Maha Marathons. You will also get our okay, let me show you that part. Why do we call it 2.0? The entire area, whosoever is involved in this particular entire faculty is being shown there. So what we call 2.0 is because we cover all these areas together. The one particular thing which makes our Mahapack different, that means Mahapack 2.0 is covering all these subjects, but also it is also covering the area of our mini marathons up to 10 plus hours, Maha marathons up to 5 plus hours, as well as we are also providing you practice papers. Along with this, we are also providing you doubt sessions as well. That would be taken almost every weekend. So that means if in case you have a particular doubt or something, then in the classes only you can ask about it. Okay, so all these things are there for you. Please go ahead and check out on our website, on our app for further details, everyone. So that's it for the day. We'll be